Maybe not. Heavy. Sweet. Nah, I don't think so. Not sure what that'll do. Awesome. Cool. Rad. This is where I last saw him. You. Teenage you. You were headed this way, arm in arm with Edna.
Well, how could I? It happened in the brain of a different Emmett Brown, an Emmett Brown now erased by the shifting sands of time. I haven't thought about this place in years. The missus made me tear it down back in '71. Said the movies were corrupting the younger generation.
Uh-huh.
Ugh. Luckily, my erstwhile wife was never the type to kiss on a first date. If we work fast and stay focused, we can see to it that our relationship never moves beyond the hand-holding stage.
But you're going to. That's what we're here for, remember?
Right, of course. The film that was supposed to set off a chain reaction in my imagination, inspiring with a notion that would launch my scientific career. Luckily for us, I do know something about my own brain, having lived in it for the past 70-plus years. Once we get my younger self inspired by that movie, nothing will distract him from his proper...
You've still got no memory of what that notion was?
It's just like I remember it, only dirtier. Oh, the old courthouse.
Come on now, Doc. You need to go inside and check it out.
Huh?
First rule of time travel, Doc, never allow your other self to catch sight of you. It could cause reality to collapse or something.
You mean... Great Scott, will you look at that?
The town square? Right behind you. Don't peek. Go on. I'll let you know when you're gone. And don't forget, you're Carl Sagan. Very cool. What about it? That's what we're here for. We've got to get young you to see Frankenstein. That's what caused the whole problem, remember? We've got to get young you to see Frankenstein. Better leave old Doc where he is until young Doc's gone.
Harry! Sonny! Michael! You do show up at the oddest moments. Where have you been hiding?
Oh, you know, here and there. You're a little hard to pin down yourself. I went looking for you last night, but...
I believe I was off entertaining a beautiful lady. You know, I never really got a chance to thank you.
Yeah, well, sometimes first impressions are right. Yeah, well, girls are great and all, but don't get carried away. Yeah, well, we make a lot of mistakes when we're not seeing straight. The thing is, you shouldn't let Edna distract you from, the business at hand. Finishing your project for the expo and going to see Frankenstein. The rocket car?
The rocket car? Boy, are you out of date. I've junked the rocket car.
But...
more trouble than it's worth. I'll never figure out a propulsion system that does what I want it to do. And besides, its social utility is practically non-existent. Oh, pshaw. I'm far too busy for movies these days.
But,
And as for my project, it's practically done.
Social utility? Since when do you care about... No, you were really onto something with the rocket car. You've just gotta... You'll figure it out, Emmett. You only need a bolt of inspiration, that's all. Maybe if you went to a...
The mental alignment meter is a much more worthy project.
The what?
It was Edna's idea, and she's really been cracking the whip to get me to complete it in time for the expo.
Emmett, I'm a little confused here. What day is it?
Why, it's opening day. The opening day of the expo. Which reminds me, I'd better skedaddle back to the lab. If Edna catches me dawdling, there'll be heck to pay. Catch you around, Crockett. Catch you around, Callahan. Catch you around, Corleone.
October 12th, Doc.
That should have been a tip-off. Something is horribly wrong with the time circuits, and the problem appears to be getting worse. If we try to jump now, we could find ourselves stranded in the Cenozoic age. Or worse, the Mesozoic.
Then we're stuck?
For the time being. I'll look into the problem and see what I can do. In the meantime, you can go to work on the other problem. Come to think of it, it is a bit brisk for August.
Oh, we're 2 months late. The expo's about to start, and teenage you is already in over his head with Edna.
I always did have a tendency to plunge into things.
Let's plunge into the DeLorean and get to the right date.
No, it's far too risky. Remember how I was late picking you up in '86?
Yeah, right. I'll go to the lab and see if I can talk teenage you out of...
Impossible. If young me is already as infatuated as you say, you're not going to be able to talk him out of anything. Believe me, I remember. Better to focus on the more clear-headed half of the couple.
Edna? Where can I find her?
Where do you think? The DeLorean should still function adequately as a means of conveyance in the first 3 dimensions.
The suspected arsonist.
The billions and billions guy?
Just go with it.
Huh? Well, will you look at that? The old town theater. I never did manage to see Frankenstein, though. It was all nonsense, of course. I spent countless evenings here in my youth, and it never turned me into a hoodlum. Say, remember Public Enemy? Why, you dirty rat, no good yellow-bellied stool?
Well, I'm sure you would have escaped Kid on your own.
Kid? Oh, sure, I'm grateful for that, but no, I'm talking about Edna. It's funny to think of now, but until that crisis, I actually thought Edna and I disliked one another. Imagine!
I'll drive.
I should really talk to Edna before I go anywhere. The brown place is on Riverside Drive. Way too far to go on foot. I wonder how Doc's coming with the DeLorean. If I'm gonna get to Emmett's, I need to find some wheels. Hang on, Emmett. Hope you're ready for a big breakup. Emmett's probably on his way. I'll just wait for him here. You were right. There she is.
My soon-to-be ex-future wife is nothing if not predictable.
Do I really have to talk to her? I mean, couldn't I just hang out until you fix the time circuits and...
Oh!
I'll talk to her. You'd better get the DeLorean out of sight before someone...
Hey, you! Quit blocking the drive! All Car of the Future contestants need to report to the North Tent!
Good luck, Marty!
Doc! Holy jeez, I better work fast. I think I got it all worked out. When it all comes together, Edna will think you're the worst guy in town. I just need a couple more pieces.
Well, don't go to too much trouble.
What do you mean? Oh, what's all the hustle and bustle? What time is it? Where's Edna?
It's almost time for the opening ceremony. She's inside, setting up her booth.
You got the time circuits fixed. You got Edna to break things off? You thought of an easier way to break them up?
Not exactly. You see, I've been mulling things over, and, in the timeline you're from...
The right timeline?
Yes, I've got a wife.
A great wife. Clara, and kids, and a dog, and a bitchin' time train, and...
And Edna? How does her story turn out? How does she end up?
Oh, well, Edna ends up, to be honest, she ends up kinda sad.
Sad?
She lives with some cats in a dinky little apartment, and she spends most of her time yelling out her window at people, and collecting newspapers, and living in the past.
I see. Perhaps we've been going about this problem the wrong way. Do we really have to completely obliterate my timeline so we can restore yours?
Doc?
Maybe we could have the best of both worlds. I could be with Edna, but it could be a little bit, more healthy.
Can you hear yourself? Do you know what you're saying? Let me remind you, it was her influence that led you to take over Hill Valley and turn it into this nightmare state.
Come now, it wasn't as bad as all that. The crime rate was low, and the uniforms were nice.
She took over your life. She kept you from doing what you were meant to do, till there was nothing left of you but this hollow shell.
Maybe, but she only did it because she cared.
Doc, she tried to erase your brain.
Oh, she was terrible, no argument. Horrible. Oh, but she started out with such pure intentions.
I don't believe this.
All I'm saying is, let's stop and take a breath. This elaborate plan to derail my younger self's love life, is the short-term misery worth the long-term gain? Maybe we can find a third way, one where everybody wins. What do you think?
No. I'm sorry, Doc. I can't go along with what you're saying. You don't belong with Edna.
So you're determined to break us up, in spite of my stated wishes?
Basically, yeah.
Then there's nothing left to say.
Where are you going?
Why should it matter to you? Aren't you planning on overriding me?
Hey, it worked, didn't it? She's doing great. She's got a full life, lots of friends, always busy.
She's got a fellow?
Sure, lots of them.
Lots of them? She's a tramp?
No, what I meant to say was...
Let's start over. How does Edna end up? And it's not as if I'll be in a position to do anything about it once my younger counterpart's destiny has shifted. I imagine I'll be folded into the new timeline, and I'll probably lose all memory of the old one.
Maybe.
So tell me, just to satisfy my curiosity, what's going to become of Edna?
You're not really supposed to know these things in advance. It's bad luck.
But you told me how my story turns out.
Yeah, but...
I didn't want to risk undoing any of the work you've done thus far, so I kept out of sight. But the time lag wasn't entirely a waste. I stopped by the hardware store and bought the parts for a chronometric analyzer. I'm afraid not. In fact, the discrepancy appears to be getting worse. I arrived 6 hours ago.
Oh, too bad. A what?
A diagnostic device. See, I plug it into the time circuits and set them to cycle. When the green light goes off, I should have the data I'll need to understand the scope of the problem.
Hey, no driving the exhibits off the lot!
Looks like you'll have to find another set of wheels if you want to get to the lab. Depends what you mean by luck. My arrival time was off again.
By how much? Any luck this time?
8 hours this time. Gave me the chance to take in 3 showings of Frankenstein. Good movie. A bit implausible from a scientific perspective, but I can see how my younger self would have been mesmerized.
But what about the DeLorean?
Oh, yes, I did get one critical piece of information. The chromium elements in my circuits became unstable during the temporal shift. I should replace them with titanium. The lab! You better get down there before she makes the situation impossible. I'll tend to the DeLorean. But there may be another solution. I'm going to fire up the chronometric analyzer again. Then, while I'm stalling in there, you can... Uh-oh, where did it go?
The lab. Great.
Now, unfortunately, titanium won't become commercially available till the Kroll process is perfected in 9 years.
9 years? When did you land this time?
9 hours and 37 minutes ago.
Ouch.
Frankly, it started to get a little difficult to avoid running into myself.
By the look of things...
7 hours.
Again?
Guess I better crank up the old chronometric analyzer once more. I'm this close to identifying the problem. Still, the time jump yielded some interesting new data on the flux field. I'll run some more tests, and we'll see what we find.
My future wouldn't be built so shoddily.
Hi, Miss Strickland. I was just...
Break what you like, Mr. Callahan. It's no skin off my nose. Break what you like, Mr. Corleone. It's no skin off my nose. Break what you like, Mr. Crockett. It's no skin off my nose. Just keep away from Emmett's booth. Speaking of whom, I better go see what's keeping him.
I'll go check on him for you. I was just heading there anyway.
No, you weren't. The last thing he needs is another distraction at the 11th hour.
Shouldn't you leave him alone? I mean, he said there was still some work to do on his new project.
And that's exactly why I need to be there. Emmett's a very bright young man, but just between you and me, he does tend to get a little distracted by shiny objects. My job is to make sure he stays focused.
You should stay here.
What?
I mean, you want to deal with that situation at the registration booth.
Oh, that. We finally found that form. It was in my purse.
But...
Tut-tut. Not another word. I've got the rest of the day all mapped out.
Miss Strickland!
I'm sorry, I don't recognize you. Heavens, you shaved off your hair, but Carl Sagan?
I'd like a word with you, if I may.
I'm not sure it would be seemly for me to be seen in the company of an alleged arsonist.
I think it may be in your best interests. You see, I know what you're up to.
Let's go somewhere where we can talk privately.
Go. I'll keep her occupied till you get back. Why not?
Well, I'm glad somebody's listening to reason.
Let's talk.
You might want to take a look at this.
Why in the world would I be interested in... Oh, what have we here? Oh, sir! Mr. McFly! It appears your muse has been inspiring more than progress.
Trixie? Oh, no. What are you doing with a dirty postcard?
What is she doing in a dirty postcard? I swear, Mr. McFly, if that doesn't convince you that Trixie Trotter is unfit to represent Hill Valley...
I don't need you to lecture me about who I can or can't hire, Miss Strickland. Trixie's darn good at what she does. I don't care if she was once the winsome wench of Winnipeg. Her past doesn't matter to Trixie.
What is it, Audie?
You know I don't like to pry, but what state did you grow up in?
Province, Manitoba. Why?
Not even an American.
See, darling, the charter specifically states that the Expo's hostess must be a U.S. citizen, so if you're really a Canadian...
I'm being fired? You're firing me?
I don't want to.
Here, take it back.
Hey, Emmett, what's keeping you?
Oh, hello, Harry. No, hello, Michael. No, hello, Sonny. I guess I've got a mild case of stage fright. I'm about to play my big scene, you know. No telling how Edna's gonna react.
You've, got something on your suit.
Oh, so I have. Wish me luck. Oh, for Pete's sake.
Oh, aren't you a vision? Like something that descended from the heavens.
Yes, I'm feeling a bit elevated at the moment. There's something I've just got to ask you.
Wait, your tie's a bit crooked.
I've been holding it inside for weeks now, and I've simply got to get it off my chest. Anti-stain formula, work your magic.
Emmett!
Just in the nick of time. Step back now. We're gonna need a little space here.
Let me see that card. I should have known. A degenerate criminal.
What?
Get out of my sight! I never want to see you again! Oh!
Uh-oh.
My grandfather's suit!
My formula!
Oh.
Look! Turn your head! I'll be right back and we can try this all over again.
Emmett Lathrop Brown!
Huh?
Trixie Trotter, how do you know this woman?
I don't. I mean, I listened to some of her records and I may have taken a picture or two of her, but I...
Yes, go on. Deny to the world that you know me. Perhaps it is true, but I know you all too well.
What is going on here?
You rich boys are all alike. You think material possessions can compensate for a broken heart. Well, you can take back your furs and take back this gaudy diamond, too.
Ouch!
I don't need your expensive presents. I need you. And more importantly, little Emmett Jr. needs you.
Well,
Edna,
don't Edna me. Apparently you are not the man I took you for.
But I am, see? The mental alignment meter proves it. I am the man you fell in love with.
That was rough, Emmett. I'm sorry you had to go through it, but things are gonna be okay. You and me can... Emmett?
That went off great, huh?
Yeah. Maybe too great.
I see. Well, you certainly do know a lot about me, Mr. Sagan.
From one investigative reporter to another, Miss Strickland.
One might question your motives, but one can't help admiring your method. And you're firm in your intentions?
I am.
Then that's that. And yet, I can't help feeling I can talk to you.
And you had to tend the farm all by yourself?